think price laddering is one of the most underrated tools in business. And again, with the business that I work with and help, if their pricing is flat, it's like the first thing I kind of work with them on to do. So firstly,
what is price laddering? Just so, yeah.
Great question. Okay, so let's just take cans of beer. If all our cans of beer cost £2, we would have a flat pricing strategy and not a ladder pricing strategy. If some of our cans of beer cost £1.50, if there was a special can of beer that cost £1.25, if there was a few cans of beer that cost £1.95, if there was some cans of beer that cost £2.25, if there was a few cans of special limited edition beer that cost £3.25, and if there was these crazy one-off limited edition beers that cost £6, £7, £8, £9, £10, even £20, that is price laddering. So you can use that to give the customer choice, give the retailer choice, give people different entry points into the brand as well. And a lot of the times, because what we do is a little bit niche, it's a little bit more expensive, people's like, no, I'm not paying that. So to give people an entry point to have a BrewDog experience that then can trade up to our most profitable things. And at the moment, we do loads with Lost Lager, which is a little bit more accessible from a price perspective. 35% of those people go on to buy Hazy Jane or Punk IPA, where our margin profile is significantly better. But then also being able to offer the geeks, the aficionados, the connoisseurs, something that gives them this kind of crazy immersive experience, be it a beer that's aged in Scotch whisky casks for 12 months, or a beer that's made with special ingredients and a Belgian yeast that we got from a monastery in Belgium. So you've got that kind of depth to the experience of there, which gives credibility to your main mass market options, because you're doing something that's geeky and cool and niche and kind of hype in that space as well. So I think any business to have that laddering, but I would also have that laddering across not just price point, I would have that laddering across accessibility as well. So what are kind of some more accessible things, not just in terms of price point, but in terms of the product offering? Because like so many small companies, what they're doing, it's niche, they're trying to find a kind of core community, they're trying to get mass market acceptance on the fringes, which by default, you're doing something which is kind of more elevated, kind of more bespoke, more artisan. You've got to have a few hooks for people that love their brand, that want to kind of come into your universe, that are not quite so difficult to get in as well. And that kind of helps you kind of grow the pond you're fishing in. So I think laddering is important in terms of price, but also important in terms of accessibility.
So with the accessibility, so these little hooks, is that almost trying to convert, say, having a SKU that you're going to get someone who buys a Foster's?
100%. So if you look at our portfolio at the moment, we've got a beer called Blackheart. That is to convert people who drink Guinness. We've got a beer called Lost Lager. That is to convert people who drink premium lagers. Heineken, Estrella, Peroni. That's it. We've got a beer called Cold Beer, which is to convert kind of more mass market beer drinkers into what we do. So we've got those different now. Any category that we're in, we want to do something that is so amazing from a product quality perspective. Fantastic ingredients, great taste, great liquid, non-pasteurized, non-filtered, super fresh, super amazing. But we want to give those people who are starting off there a way into our universe, a way to kind of enjoy the passion that we have for beer, as opposed to being a closed shop and hey, we're just for geeks, we're just for aficionados, we're just for somebody that wants a 7% IPA that's got so much bitterness and hops, it's going to hammer the pores out of your tongue.
And then also, does it work? So say I don't know what the RRPs are, but let's say Punk IPA is £3, right? Yeah. A can. Next to a Foster's at £2, next to a Peroni at £1, right? That looks fucking expensive. But if you put it next to like another SKU of BrewDog, Hazy Jane, which is £4, suddenly the Punk IPA looks much cheaper and it just drives more to the core. So it works.
100%. There's so many kind of psychological experiments. There's a classic one that's been done in the US with a menu, and it's got a main course at $20 in the menu, and that's the one that most people want. Now, if all the other things in your menu are $16 and $18, the customer's value perception is it's very expensive. If the other things in your menu are maybe 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, the same $20 all of a sudden feels like much better value to the customer, and all you've done is created some margin enhancing opportunities for yourself and provided a better perception of value.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks to your e-com and accounting software. It's helped Islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.